The gun trembles in my hand as I stand in the doorway of my own bedroom. My wife, Sarah, is frozen beneath silk sheets that cost more than my military salary. But I'm not aiming at her. I'm not even aiming at Marcus Blackwood, the billionaire whose penthouse this is. I'm aiming at myself. "David, please!" Sarah's voice cracks, but I barely hear her over the roaring in my ears. 3 tours in Afghanistan, and this is how my war ends. Not with enemy fire, but with a broken heart in a room that smells of expensive cologne and betrayal. My finger hovers over the trigger as I whisper the words that will haunt me forever. I should have died over there. At least then, I would have died believing you loved me. But before I tell you how I got here, and the twist that will shatter everything you think you know, hit that subscribe button, because this story isn't what it seems. Nothing is. The Philadelphia airport smells like coffee and cinnamon rolls, but all I can smell is desert dust. It's been 18 months since I've seen American soil, 18 months since I've held my wife. I don't tell Sarah I'm coming home early. I want to surprise her. God, how stupid that sounds now. The cab drops me at our apartment building at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. Our place is on the 3rd floor, rent-controlled, with a view of the parking lot. Sarah's car isn't there, which is strange. She works from home as a graphic designer. I climb the stairs, my duffel bag heavy on my shoulder, my heart even heavier with anticipation. The key still fits. I push open the door and... empty. Not just empty, gone. The furniture, the photos, the little succulent plant Sarah named Herbert, all vanished like they never existed. Only a forwarding address sits on the kitchen counter, written in her handwriting on expensive stationery I don't recognize. The Blackwood Tower, Penthouse 3. My hands shake as I Google the address. It's one of the most exclusive buildings in the city. Apartments start at $5 million. I take the subway because I can't afford an Uber to that part of town. The whole ride, I'm telling myself there's an explanation. Maybe she's house-sitting. Maybe it's a design client. Maybe. The lobby has marble floors that echo with my boots. The doorman looks at me like I'm a stain on his polished world. I'm here to see Sarah Chen, Penthouse 3. His eyes flicker with something. Pity? Your name, sir? David Chen. I'm her husband. The silence that follows could crack glass. He picks up the phone, murmurs something, then hangs up. She says to come up. The elevator ride to the 40th floor feels like descending into hell, not ascending into heaven. Sarah opens the door before I can knock. She's wearing a silk robe I didn't buy her. Her hair's longer, highlighted with expensive balayage. She looks like a stranger wearing my wife's face. "David," she breathes and steps back. I walk into a penthouse that could fit our old apartment 6 times over. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook the city, original artwork hangs on walls, and standing by those windows, holding a glass of scotch that probably costs more than my combat boots, is Marcus Blackwood. I've seen his face in magazines. Tech billionaire, philanthropist, 38 years old and handsome in that way rich men are, polished, perfect, untouchable. "You must be David," he says, extending his hand like we're meeting at a cocktail party. "Sarah's told me so much about you." I don't shake his hand. I look at my wife. "Tell me this isn't what it looks like." Her eyes fill with tears, but she doesn't deny it. "I was going to write you. I didn't know how." "How long?" "David, how long?" She flinches. Marcus moves toward her protectively, and that small gesture, the way he instinctively shields her, tells me everything. 10 months, she whispers. 10 months. I was bleeding in a field hospital in Kandahar when this started. I was watching my best friend die in my arms while she was falling into another man's bed. "I met him at a coffee shop," she continues, words tumbling out like she's been rehearsing them. "He spilled my latte on my laptop. He bought me a new one, a better one. We started talking. David, you were gone, and I was so lonely, and he was there. I was fighting for our country," my voice cracks. "I was fighting to come home to you."
I know, she's crying now, mascara streaming down her cheeks. I know, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But David, I love him. I didn't mean to. I didn't want to, but I do. Finally, Marcus speaks, his voice gentle. David, I understand you're angry. You understand nothing. I round on him. You see something you want, you take it. That's how your world works, isn't it? Well, she's not a company you can acquire. She's my wife. Actually, Sarah says quietly, pulling a paper from a drawer, I filed for divorce 3 months ago. You were served at your base. You must not have gotten it. The room spins. I did get a manila envelope. I threw it in my locker, planning to deal with paperwork later. I never opened it. You couldn't wait until I got home, I ask. Couldn't do me the courtesy of telling me to my face. Would you have let me go? She asks, and her eyes are so sad, so certain. Would you have signed those papers if I'd asked you in person? No. God help me, no.
I should leave. I should walk out with whatever dignity I have left. But I stand there, frozen, as my entire life crumbles around me. That's when Marcus says something that changes everything. I want to offer you something, David. I laugh, bitter and broken. What could you possibly offer me? You already took everything. Financial security. He pulls out a checkbook, an actual checkbook, like some relic from another era. Name your price, whatever it costs to make this transition easier for you. The rage that fills me is white-hot and pure. You think you can buy my wife? Buy my pain? I think, he says carefully, that you're a soldier who sacrificed everything for his country and received very little in return. I'm offering you a chance to build a new life, go to college, start a business, buy a house, whatever you need. Marcus, stop, Sarah says, but he holds up a hand. $10 million, he says, in exchange for signing the divorce papers today and walking away peacefully. The number doesn't feel real. It's too large, too obscene. With that money, I could do anything, be anything. But I'd have to live knowing I sold my wife. No, I say. Sarah looks shocked. Marcus looks intrigued. No, he repeats. I don't want your money. I turn to Sarah. I want to understand. Help me understand how the woman I married, the woman who cried when I enlisted, who wore my dog tags every day, who promised to wait forever, how does she become this? Sarah's face crumples. Do you want the truth, David? The real truth? Please. She takes a shaky breath. You were already gone before you left. Every conversation became about your unit, your mission, your war. I was so proud of you, but I was drowning, and you didn't even notice. Then you extended your tour without asking me, twice, like I was just an afterthought. Each word is a bullet I can't dodge. When you came home on leave, you weren't really there. You'd wake up screaming. You couldn't be in crowds. You couldn't talk about what you saw. I tried to reach you, David. I tried so hard, but you built walls I couldn't climb, and eventually, I stopped trying. So you found someone else. She found someone who saw me, she says softly. Someone who asked about my day and actually listened. Someone who didn't flinch when I touched him. The truth of her words cuts deeper than any confession of sex or passion could. Because she's right. I did flinch. I did pull away. The war didn't end when I left the desert. I brought it home with me, into our bed, into her heart. That's when I pull out the gun. I don't even remember reaching for it. It was in my duffel, unloaded, just regulations for transport. But I loaded it this morning, after I saw the empty apartment. Some part of me knew this was coming. David, no! Sarah screams. But Marcus doesn't move, doesn't even look scared. David, think about what you're doing. But I am thinking. Maybe for the first time in years, I'm thinking clearly. I should have died in Kandahar. When that IED went off and killed Patterson, it should have been me. I was supposed to be on point that day. He took my place because I had a headache.
a headache. David, please. I should die now, I say, my voice eerily calm. Push at the fence 1,000 times until something on the other side comes and gets me. David, I still care about you. Please, please, don't. You care about me? I laugh, and it sounds insane even to my ears. You love him, but you care about me. That's perfect. That's fucking perfect. Marcus speaks, his voice steady. David, I understand you're in pain. You understand nothing, I scream. You with your billions and your penthouses and your stolen wives, you understand nothing about what it's like to have everything taken from you. You're right, he says quietly. I don't understand your pain, but I do understand something about Sarah that you don't. I lower the gun slightly. What? He looks at Sarah, and she shakes her head, crying, "Don't! Please don't!" But he says it anyway. She's pregnant.
The words don't make sense at first. They're just sounds, syllables without meaning. Then Sarah says, her voice broken, "It's yours, David." The gun falls from my hand, clattering on the marble floor. What? Your last leave, remember? 4 months ago? You were different that night, softer. You held me like you used to, and She's sobbing so hard she can barely speak. I was all ready with Marcus, but that night was just us, just you and me, one last time. I can barely breathe. You're pregnant? With my child? 8 weeks, she whispers. I found out a month ago. Marcus steps forward, and his face is gentle, kind even. That's why I made the offer, David, not to buy your wife, to provide for your child. Sarah loves me, but this baby is yours, and a child deserves the best possible start in life. My mind is fracturing, shattering into pieces I'll never put back together. I was going to tell you, Sarah says. I was going to ask if you'd still be part of the baby's life. Marcus and we talked about co-parenting, about making sure you... Co-parenting? The word tastes like ashes. You want me to watch another man raise my child? I want, she says firmly, what's best for our baby. And David, look at yourself. Look at what you were about to do. You need help, real help, not a war, not a mission, help. The truth of it crashes over me like a wave. She's right. I'm broken, maybe beyond repair. How can I be a father when I can't even be a husband, when I can't even live with myself? Marcus picks up the gun carefully, unloading it. David, the offer stands, but now it comes with a condition: therapy, real intensive therapy, for the baby's sake. Be the father this child deserves, even if you can't be the husband Sarah needs. I sink to my knees in this palace of glass and marble, and I weep for Sarah, for our baby, for the man I was before the war, who died in the desert and never came home. Sarah kneels beside me, and for just a moment she's my wife again. She holds me as I break apart, whispering, "I'm sorry. I'm so, so sorry." And I believe her.
2 years later, I push my daughter on the swing in the park near my new place, a modest house I bought with money I earned, not money I was given. I refused Marcus's check. Instead, I used the GI Bill, got my degree, started a veterans counseling center. Therapy saved my life, literally. Sarah and Marcus married last year. Sometimes watching them together still hurts, but less than it used to. My daughter, Lily, laughs as she swings higher, her dark hair flying. She has Sarah's eyes and my stubborn chin. Marcus is good to her. He's good to Sarah. And slowly, painfully, I've learned to be grateful for that instead of destroyed by it. Because here's the real twist, the one that took me 2 years to understand. Sometimes love means letting go. Sometimes the war you need to win isn't against an enemy. It's against your own broken heart, your own damaged soul. I lost my wife, but I found my daughter, and in finding her, I finally found my way home.